Yeah, yes, my dear. Um, Good evening, everybody. Yeah, this is Ravikant Miryala. Yeah, today we will have our session on Ind AS 115, which is a quick revision of Ind AS 115, which is actually a continuing session, which we have already started in the um, right. In 2 days before we had part one. Now it is part two. With this, we will be able to complete Ind AS 115. As you know, Ind AS 115 is a big standard, right? It won't be that easy to cover each and every point within 1 hour time, right? But anyhow, chalo, let's get into. Yeah, before getting into the main subject, small information. Yeah, we Yashas Academy are with an academy, right? And we are teaching, all the faculty of Yashas Academy are teaching on an academy platform, right? And as part of that, I am taking care of financial paper number 1, financial reporting for CA final, and for CA final group 2 paper number 6E, that is elective paper, GFRS, global financial reporting standards. Yeah, financial reporting classes got over recently. These were like approximately 100 number of classes. Yeah, 100 classes are there. So effectively, I mean to say, some 270 to 80 hours approximately is discussed. Each and every concept which is given in the ICA material, previous examination questions, RTPs, everything is already covered. It is already covered in the examination. Okay, right, in this class. So 100%, first of all, this is 100% English and 100% comprehensive batch. Okay, it is not a fast track or quick revision, something like that. And I'm very sure it's going to add value to you. It's going to give a lot of information. Okay, a lot of information which will be for exam purpose as well as for your, once you qualify, when you get into a company, that time also this will be useful. And GFRS class, elective paper, which you know, right? And here also we covered everything, that is including mock test paper and previous examination questions, ICA material, everything is covered. It's discussed already. Okay, these recorded classes are also available. And in the January, one more live class is going to start. Live class is going to start in the month of January, that also students can attend. Next, there is a CA iconic program which is announced by an academy, right? This is very helpful to the students. Yes, you can, this is for CA final alone also, it's available. Yeah, then what are the features of it? First is mentoring. Okay, yeah, one for doubt solving purpose. Yeah, they will be, if you take up this course, they will appoint one mentor to you, and whatever the questions you have correct related to subject and any information, that is, he's the one person to contact, right? He will be helping you, he will be guiding you, and there will be a lot of support from him. That is first, mentoring. Next is test papers. Test series are going to be conducted by an academy. For every subject, 3 tests will be conducted. Once you are through with 40% of syllabus, you can take up one test, and once you are through with 80%, then another test. Once you are through with 100% of syllabus, then you can do another test. It's like the 3 tests for every subject, right? That will be conducted. So that will be very helpful. It is not just you write, it is going to be evaluated first, evaluated by another subject matter expert. And if there is any questions, they will come back with the feedback and improvements, what you are supposed to do for your further development. Everything is going to be taken care by them. Okay, so there will be, after evaluation, there will be a discussion and they will point out what is the problems you are facing, where are you supposed to improve. Everything is going to be discussed with you. And yes, there is iconic subscription. For the iconic subscription, there is some offer. Okay, use the code YESHAS, YESHAS LIVE live, then you will get 10% discount on this. Yeah, this discount is applicable, it is there for only if whoever is taking only group 1, and whoever is taking group 2 and who is taking both the groups combo also, group 1 group 2, if you take up also, yes, use the code YESHAS LIVE live, then you will get the 10% discount, right? This I feel like very useful to you, my dear, right? Yeah, let's go to the sorry, yes, let us go to the subject. Let us continue the discussion which was started in the past. Fine. Yeah, see, I mean, we were through with, I mean, not 100%, we were through with almost, I should say, we were through with almost step number 3. Okay, right, step number 3. Within step number 3, little more information is required. This is what very much required for your step number 4. Okay, right, we used the word SSP, standalone selling price, correct? Yeah, but what about this? What is the standalone selling price? Right, standalone selling price, if it is available, correct? If my company is only selling, correct, my company is only selling separately, only car also I will sell, only maintenance also I will give. If it is doing like that, no, then I can take it from here. I don't need to search anywhere. Yeah, no sir, we don't sell it separately, we always sell only in the package only. Oh, it is like that. Okay, if you are selling only in pack, but my point, then you are supposed to estimate. For estimation they have given many methods, correct na? Right, so you can actually use this like estimation means, am I supposed to follow fully one method or something like that? It's not necessarily, it is not necessarily. You can follow one method or combination of more than one method also you can follow. Let us look at one by one. Adjusted market price is one, right? First, one method for what? This is one method for estimation of SSP. Okay, what is that? Adjusted market price, in the sense, as if you sell it, you are not selling it, I know that. If you only sell it separately, individually, what would have been the price? Correct na? What can you do? Yes, you can see what if it is sold by the entity. Yeah, take the market price, market may whatever, if someone is selling, then take that price, plus or minus you can change your margin, because maybe you may be using a qualitative material. Agree na? It's not that somebody is selling same mouse, this is Logitech mouse. If someone is selling na, someone may be selling for 100 rupees, but Logitech company will not sell for 100 rupees. Maybe they can say, no, we will use qualitative material, that's why we will charge it higher. Correct na? So market price plus or minus any additional cost, extra margin, anything you can add it. That is one. Next is what? Instead of taking the market value, you can say what is my cost. Correct na? Plus what is your expected margin? Expected cost, expected margin. Yes, you can do it. Correct na? Mostly expect cost, you know how much you will use, because you are selling it already. You are selling in a package, not individually. Correct, but you will be knowing na, cost to make it, right? So that's why the estimated cost and appropriate margin percentage also you can add it and do it. Residual approach. Yeah, what is this residual approach, sir? What is residual approach? Yeah, this method you can follow when suppose there is performance obligation A, B, C are there. Performance obligation A, B, C, all three are different performance obligations in a contract. I know this SSP, I know this SSP. Okay, right, this SSP is equal to 100, this SSP is equal to 150. Okay, but the total value is equal to 300 rupees. This is the total value. Yeah, total value is equal to 300 rupees. Then you can do something like this. Then you can make residual value, that is balancing approach. So 100 plus 150, 250. 250 minus 300, that is equal to 50. Balancing figure, this is residual approach. Yeah, this also you can follow, but end of the day, whenever you are following residual approach or any other approach, any estimation, remember, yes, whatever the number comes out from your approach, from your estimation, that should present the standalone selling price. Okay, normally if I sell such item in the market, how much it would be? Sometimes in some of the questions, you know, if you do it, it may come 10 rupees. Balancing figure, suppose 10 rupees came. Arey, my cost only 30 rupees. Then how will it be? Correct now? How will it be said 10 rupees is the standalone selling price? Correct. How can you say that I will sell for 10 rupees? Impossible and illogical. Got it? Right. That's what you are supposed to keep it in mind. Yeah, so it should make sense. That you please keep it in mind. Okay, right. So you can some more information we can combine. Correct. Now we can combine it. Yes, I told you can use more than one, but must lead to allocation at SSP market. Correct. Now it should be market sense always. Right. If the product is sold in the correct, if the product is sold in the range of 10,000 to 12,000, right? Sir, SSP exactly. How do you say SSP, sir? Fine. If you, but I am not selling one item. This item is for all the customers. I am not selling it for 10,000. One customer go 10,000, another customer go 10,200, 10,500, 12,000, something like that. Then you can take an average price. If allocated, correct. If the company itself has allocated or mentioned in the invoice is the average price, that's fine. Otherwise, you are supposed to take some average price. Average price means 10,000 plus 12,000 divided by 2, 11,000 also you can take. Or someone can apply something like this. No, most of my products have been sold for 11,500. So 11,500 also can be taken as SSP. Like you must have heard in statistics mode, which is repeated number of times, more number of times. That is also fine. Like that, people can apply anyway. Next, allocation of discount. This is one more small topic within step number 4. Okay, yeah. Discount means what? Discount means A, B, C. Total. Generally, A is sold for, B is sold for, C is sold for. Totally how much? But actually, what am I selling it for? Correct. Now, A, B, C together, I am selling it for 300. But generally, if I sell A, B, C separately, I would have sold 350 rupees. Okay, that means of 50 rupees you have given discount because customer is purchasing it at a package. Correct. That's why you are supposed to show some discount to them. Otherwise, what is the point in purchasing all three from you? Agree? Correct. Right. So that is one of the main first reasons. Okay. Discount means that is the sum of individual SSP. Correct. Total value of the individual item minus agreed price. Now the question. First we have to apply our knowledge. Yeah. If 50 rupees discount, is it pertaining to any specific item? Is it pertaining to any specific item? If you say, sir, A item, generally we will tell SSP is equal to SSP is equal to 400. But if the customer bargains, 350 ko de denge sir hum. That means you are actually generally you are giving 50 rupees discount for A. So that's why E 300 over 300 correct na. 50 rupees from this A plus B plus C. 50 rupees discount is purely pertaining to product A. So allocate it to product A only. Don't allocate it to anything else. Got it? Right. Allocate in the rate of SSPs except allocate to specific items. Yeah, that is conditions. Suppose entity is selling the same items on standalone basis. The item A also I am generally selling it. I am only selling. Okay, na? And we are selling it at discount in general. I told you, na? Generally to 300 rupees. Now, generally 300 SSP will tell. Normally we'll sell it for 250. Okay, right. Discount is given totally substantially same as the discount is given in the contract. Generally, how much am I giving discount? 50. In this contract also, how much discount I give? 50. That means our discount is purely pertaining to, that discount is purely pertaining to what? Yes, exactly. That is purely pertaining to product A only. Okay, right. So first apply the discount to specific item. Correct. Later, yes, first you have to apply it to specific item. Later you follow residual approach. Okay, right. Next, topic number 4. Right, consideration within this. Okay, consideration payable to the customer's loyalty program. It is already discussed in the previous class, actually, isn't it? Normal purchase. This is all discussed. Step number 4. This is the most important point. Allocating the transaction price to performance obligation. Each performance obligation. Yeah. In the ratio of, I told you, it is always in the ratio of SSP. Correct? You are supposed to allocate it. You are supposed to allocate it. One second. Yeah. Sorry. In the ratio of SSP. Correct. How are you supposed to allocate the total value? It is always in the ratio of SSP. SSP only, I mean estimations of SSP is what we have done just now. Correct. SSP, when are you supposed to decide which day SSPs are? That is on the date of inception. That is on the date of inception only you are supposed to find out the SSP. R ratio only you are supposed to follow. Okay, done. Next. Yes. Bajrang Sahani, hi. Right. If SSP is not observable, yeah, suppose SSP we cannot see it. Yeah, if not sold separately by the entity, that is what you are supposed to estimate it. Estimation methods only we have taught to you. I think that diagram, correct, which is supposed to come now, which has come already. Okay, that is just a placement problem, but matter is already discussed, isn't it? Right. Hello. Allocation of variable consideration. This is one more sub point here. Variable consideration. Where the point comes, my dear. See, variable consideration means what? First of all, the amount is not fixed. Correct? Now, amount may vary. Yeah. Suppose say I am selling product A, I am selling product B. Two items I am selling. Suppose this item is equal to fixed. How much is the amount? Fixed is 500, sir. Correct. Amount is fixed and everything is fixed. He will pay me it in one shot. Okay. What about B item, sir? B item, what is the amount we told? We said it is based on percent, it is percentage of sales. Okay, we'll say 1% on sales you are supposed to pay me. Something, it's okay, doesn't matter. So percentage of sales means obviously variable. Very clearly variable. But even though it is variable, we may be estimating. What is that? Approximately sales would have been how much? And what would be the percentage? Some 1%, 2%, whatever the said percentage. So that will come to 1000 rupees. Got it? If someone is correct, suppose now I am selling both A item, B item together is equal to A plus B together, I am selling it. Excellent. In the invoice copy, I mentioned A is equal to 500 and B is equal to 1000. Correct? Now total is equal to 1500 rupees they have mentioned. Then there is no issue at all. Correct? Now very clearly there is no cheating. Correct? Now where is the cheating? No cheating. A value is equal to 500, B value is equal to 1000, perfectly all right. But the problem will come where, no? But the problem will come where he can do like this. Value is equal to 1500. If 1500, he will not make any change. But he will do something like this. A is equal to 500. He will say A is equal to 750 rupees. B is equal to 750 rupees. Isn't it 750 means 500 rupees is normal value? Hasn't he, increased the value of it by 250 rupees? He did it. Now, isn't it our duty to, correct? Isn't it our duty to allocate it correctly? Correctly allocation means it must be in the ratio of 500 and 1000. It must be in the ratio of 500 and 1000. Now, the problem comes where, suppose A is getting sold, control is transferred, let us say on 1st January. Okay. Yeah. B is getting transferred, control is getting transferred on 1st October. Got it? Right. What is the real value we concluded? 500. But A is transferred today. Today you transferred means haven't you received money? Yes, I received, sir. 750 rupees is my money. Correct, na? But you should say A sales is equal to 500. 2, you have to record advance amount. Advance is actually E 250 is received with respect to B. So don't book the sales to the extent of total money received, because A money, correct, na? Even though it is correct, B sale is happening when? On 1st February. So right now you have received 250 rupees of excess money. You keep it as an advance received from customer, like that. And subsequently when you sell B on 1st October, that day what do you get? You will get cash account debit 750. Then that day you debit advance account 250. Correct, na? That day you should say sales is equal to 1000. Like that. We have one very good sum in Ind AS Made Easy book that will give you little more idea, but even that question you are supposed to read it very carefully. If you read it very fast. Okay, then nothing, you will understand very carefully. If you read it, you will enjoy that actually. Okay, that is only the matter. Next, subsequently if there is a change in the transaction price is changed, TP is changed. Okay, initially we fixed it as 1000 rupees for 1 2 3 products. Okay, cool. But subsequently we changed it to 1200 rupees. Now aren't you getting 200 rupees extra? Yes. But 200 rupees, am I supposed to allocate it for performance obligation 1, performance obligation 2? Yes. In which ratio? In which ratio means it is in the ratio of originally SSP was original SSP, not on the date of modification SSP. Original SSP date rate, what was the, I mean, initially 1000 was allocated in which ratio? Other ratio you are supposed to apply. Same ratio you are supposed to apply even for change in the transaction price. Even for change in the transaction price, change in the TP should be allocated using the same ratio which will be used at inception. Right, add or deduct, I mean 1000 plus 200 or 1000 minus 200, correct na? That will be from the change, means anything plus or minus. Allocate to only one or more purchase, I mean performance obligations if the change is specifically related to, correct na? If you get to know why is the change is happening, change is because of only second item, then no problem, our 200 is purely related to second, allocate it. If not, no sir, it is not related to 1 or it is not related to 2, it is overall for the entire product, entire contract ko overall price is changing, then you are supposed to allocate it in the ratio of initial SSP ratio only you are supposed to follow. Okay, right. Next, step number 5. Yeah, recognize revenue when the entity satisfied performance obligation, obviously, correct. Here that means what is that? When the control is transferred, basically, correct now? Basically, when do you recognize revenue? When do you say I sold goods? When the risks and rewards, instead of risks and rewards word, control word is obviously premium level, the better word. When the control is transferred to the other party, correct now? That time we can recognize the sales. But it occurs, listen, at point in time or at percentage of completion method, that is over the period or over the time. Sir, when do you follow at point in time? For this, my dear, first there are 3 conditions. If anyone satisfies any one of the condition, then you will be following percentage completion method. If none of the conditions are followed, then you are supposed to go to point in time. Point in time means what? The minute I transfer the, I mean at one shot we will recognize the sales, that's all. Simple word to remember. Percentage completion means over the period of time. Okay, right, over the period of time. Okay, first, so that means it is all, whether you follow percentage completion or point in time is based on the conditions, okay, right. So what is the first condition? First condition is customer receives and consumes simultaneously the benefit I am providing, you are enjoying immediately, like maintenance service, software maintenance example, correct? Software maintenance, yeah, my persons are coming to your office daily basis, any bugs are there, they are rectifying immediately, correct na? That means I am providing service, you are enjoying immediately. Even cleaning maintenance, that kind of maintenance also, yeah, I am cleaning daily and you are enjoying daily, isn't it? That's it. So the customer receives and consumes the benefit simultaneously, then it is percentage completion method. Second one is performance, our performance, we are the sellers, we work something, it is creating an asset or enhancing an asset of the customer, which is under the control of the customer only. Remember, asset must be in the control of the customer, our work, our efforts are adding some value, that you remember. Our works are adding some value, correct na? The customer's control, that is first and foremost important thing. Okay, right. Third thing, Third thing has two sub points, A, B. I will tell. One, whatever performance does not create an alternative asset to me, to the seller, means I am making such kind of asset where I cannot sell this to other than the customer. Means I have to sell this to the customer, this customer, specific customer only. I have to sell this to specific customer only. Okay, means it is like a sophisticated or customized product what I am making. Okay, it is not something like sir, I am constructing one apartment, one flat. If Ravikant want to purchase, some other Kant will purchase. Yeah, that's all. Correct, na? Because it is a flat here. Correct, if not triple bedroom flat, if I don't take, anybody will take it. That is a different situation altogether. Agree? Right? No, it's not like that. First foremost condition, I don't have, a seller does not have an alternative use. That means he has to sell it to only to that customer. First product nature we are talking. And the second one is what? Entity has enforceable right to the payment. Means what? I did say 30% work is done. I should be able to get the money to the extent of 30%. 30% means only 30% of cost, sir. Not cost, my dear. Cost plus a reasonable, very good margin also should be there. Okay, means me seller should have the right to collect the money. Either I should have already collected it, or I should have the right to collect. Enforceable right must be there. Under that circumstance, we will follow percentage completion method. Otherwise, no, we do not follow. Okay, right. Eligible for compensation, correct? Eligible for only compensation loss. No, it is not sufficient. We should get reasonable profit margin as well. That is what I am trying to tell you. Okay, so how to measure percentage completion? Yeah, suppose if you are falling under percentage completion method. Excellent. Right. So how do we measure the percentage completion? How do we measure what are the methods? There are two methods. One is input method, next one is output method. But they have given one broad view. What is the broad view? Whichever method you follow, okay, right, they preferably, they say output method is the best method. But okay, the end of the day, the objective, what is the objective? This is important. The objective, the percentage how you calculate, that should depict the performance transfer. Means if you're following, say 25% is done, means really have I given 25% of the services to the other party? If I have given really, please 25%, your percentage should be able to depiction, correct? I mean, depicting means presentation. It should reflect in such a fashion. The control has been transferred to the extent of 25%. That is the objective. Keep that in mind. Yes, there are two methods, but it is not a free choice. Whichever method you want to follow, no. Which is correctly suitable, that only you are supposed to follow. Okay, not a blind choice. It is not an accounting policy choice. That you remember. Okay, I'll close eyes and I'll pick some method whichever I want. Sorry, my dear, that is not like that. Okay, done. Output method, first priority we say generally, but everywhere output method may not be correct, may not be suitable, may not be calculatable. That is the reason. Got my point? Suppose example, yeah, I am making one software, yeah, for a client, a customized software. Agreed, correct? So what is output I have done? What is output I did it? There is no output because customer is not enjoying the benefit right now. Under that circumstance, output method will be impossible and illogical. Then I cannot follow that. Okay, right. So what is output method? Very simple. What is the output we have given so far to the customer divided by total agreed output, promised output. Correct. Totally say 200 goods I transferred out of 1000 goods. Fine, 200 by 1000 into 100. That method, that formula, you can do it. Yeah. Next method is input method. Yeah. 1 second before going to output. First, let me complete the output method. What are the examples? Yeah. First one is surveyor method. Correct. Yeah. Next, milestones. Yeah, we'll say we achieved. Milestone means we'll keep a target, right? Maybe 100%, but we achieved one level. Means, yeah, we are done with, some percentage of work is completed. Correct. Programming is done. Yes. Testing is done. Yes. Installation is done. Yes. Training is done. Yeah, it can be correct. Company will keep the milestones to reach the 100%. Accordingly, they will book it. Okay, based on the time lapsed. Depends. Correct. See, maintenance contract example. Yeah, computer software maintenance contract. 1 year contract. I have provided 3 months of service. Correct. 3 months of service out of 12 months of service means 25% of work is completed. That's it. That's simple. Correct. Appraisal of results. That is also like kind of surveyor method. Okay. Object is faithful depiction of the performance done. I told you that much work must have been enjoyed by the other party. Then it makes sense. Yeah, but sometimes it would not be depicting. It may not give a correct result. Following this blindly may not give correct result. Then one should look at the next method, that is input method you are supposed to look at. Okay. Yeah, practical expediency. There is one small thing. If the entity has a right to invoice to the extent completed, then not delivered, yeah, recognize it. If I have the right to bill them to this extent, then directly you can recognize to that extent. Okay, that is one small practical expediency given in the standard. Next, if you go to the input method means basically cost method, my dear. Okay, how much is the cost spent so far till date divided by total cost, that is for 100% of the cost. Yes, into 100, then you will get percentage completion. What is the percentage? Based on the cost incurred, we are doing it. Yeah, that is what resources consumed, labor hours also you can do, machine hours also you can do, anything, that's fine. Which cost are we supposed to consider? Correct. Now we said cost incurred till date. We said cost means what? Cost means, yes, this is the given definition, directly related to the contract. Yeah, which is cost that is to generate or enhance the resources. Yeah, at the same time which is expected to be recovered. That is important. We are spending something, it is a loss, abnormal loss for me. We did unnecessarily extra job. That cost you are not supposed to take it. Right. Say example, our administration cost, I cannot recover it from the customer. Then such cost don't take it. Remember one thing, which cost I should put it in this calculation, which can be recoverable from the customer. That only you are supposed to consider it as a cost. Okay, done. Right, what all it includes? Direct labor, material, allocable. Correct. Now these are all allocable cost, anything. Correct. Next, which cannot be included, just now I told. Right, abnormal loss I told. Right, at the same time general administration also I told. Correct. Cost related to already a satisfied performance obligation. As performance obligation is done, again customer asked me, sir, please repair little bit. Some problem is there. I have to send my person and I have to get it repaired. Yes, done. I spend some money, but this item sales are already booked. Correct. Now I spend some more cost that has to be charged to P&L. Now you cannot take this to the cost of another performance obligation which is going on. Correct. So you have to identify, you have to, this percentage completion we are doing to a performance obligation which is going on right now, which is not completed. Correct. Now if it is already completed, where is the point of putting that cost to this new performance obligation? It is illogical. Okay, right. We have another 25 minutes approximately, my dear friend. In this 25 minutes, let us try to look into some of the specific items which are very important from the examination point of view, as well as for your practical knowledge also. Okay, consignment. Yeah, if it is a consignment sale, okay, consignment sale, what are we supposed to do? Record it only when the control is transferred to third party. Correct. Consignment sale, Consignment sale means consignor is transferring the goods to consignee. That is just a movement of goods from one location to another. That cannot be called as sales. Control is not transferred. When do you say control is transferred? When consignee sells it to third party, then control is transferred. That day only record the sales. Okay, simple, which you know. Bill and hold arrangement. Okay, bill and hold arrangement. What is bill and hold? We are invoicing even though material is with me, material is lying in my godown, still I am invoicing. When can I do it? Can I do that like that, sir? Can I recognize the sales, sir? Yes, subject to 3 conditions. And first and foremost, first condition is what? All the 3 conditions should satisfy. It's not only one condition. What is the first condition, sir? I say first condition, what is the reason? Why are you holding it still? And why are you invoicing? It must be at the request of the customer. That is the first condition. Okay, done, sir. Suddenly he requested, that's why I stopped sending him. Goods are lying with me. Okay, point number 2. Goods must be identified. Goods must be identified means, I told you this mouse is there. Okay, now this you should pack it. On the package you should write Ravikant. This is pertaining to Ravikant. There may be 1000 this kind of mouses in your godown. There can be, yes, let that be. Goods must be identified. It must be packed, ready to dispatch. Ravikant should say, then we will ship it. Immediately we will ship it. There is no mistake from my side. Third condition. Second condition, what I said, goods are identified, packed, ready to dispatch. Done. Third condition is what? Seller does not have right to redirect the goods. Suppose you will come, sir, mouse is there, no? Yeah, give it to me. Suppose seller says, no yaar, this no mouse right now, everything is sold off. Hey sir, इधर pack में है ना, देखो ये mouse है ना, you sell it to me, sir. No, this is pertaining to Ravikant, I cannot give it to you. That means what? That means the control over this mouse product has already been transferred to Ravikant, even though physically goods are lying with me. That means I, seller, cannot redirect the good to any other party. Then yes, even though goods are lying at your place, book the sales. That is the important point. Okay, customer's acceptance. Next thing. Now customer acceptance means generally we will tell, what do we tell? Book recognize the sales when customer accepted it. Correct. But one thing, under some circumstances, suppose customer told me, what is that? Sir, you make one PC, okay, personal computer. Yeah, I should have 8 GB RAM. I should have, what is that, 1 TB, 1 terabyte hard drive. Correct? Right. I should have this processor. Something like that. He gave me the design. I mean, specifications he has given. If I have done it, if I have fixed everything as per the specification of the customer, given by the customer, I can book it once I complete my job. Sir, customer will come after 2 days. Customer, even if he comes also, correct na? If I am able to judge that, I have done it perfectly as per the customer specifications, I don't need to wait for the formal approval of the customer. What is correct? Why should I wait? Tell me. What is the need for waiting? I have done as per the customer specification. Tomorrow he will also come and check. 8 GB RAM is there, 1 TB. What is that? Hard drive is there. Correct na? Right. i5 processor is there. Yes. What will he say after checking? He will say obviously yes. That's all. So formal approval is not required. If you have done as per the specification, please go ahead. You book the sales immediately once you are done with the job. Suppose sometimes what happens, I don't know whether I have done it is as per the specifications or not. Such kind of things are there. Then you have to wait till customer's formal approval is received. Okay, once you receive it, that day only recognize the sales. Got my point? Yeah. Acceptance is to ensure whether the product is as per the specification. Yeah. If it is as per the agreement, recognize it. Correct. Now, acceptance is just a procedural thing. If we cannot determine whether I have done it as per the as per the what is that specification. I don't know whether I did correctly or not. Then you are supposed to wait till the actual approval is received. Next, sale with the right to return. Sale with the right to return. Sir, I sold goods, but my customers, without mentioning any right, without mentioning any reason, they can give the goods back to me. They have that right. Okay, correct. Now suppose in Amazon you purchase goods, what do? Some reason, you suppose if you didn't like it, whatever the reason could be 100 number of things, right? You will say, no, I don't want, I want to return the goods. That's all. You will return the goods. And then under that circumstance, what are we supposed to do? A seller should do. Suppose I sold 100 goods. Based on my experience, generally, if I sell 100 goods, how many goods may come back? Okay, so if I say, sir, 5% goods will 5% goods may come back. Okay, cool. Then standard says, "Arey boss, to the extent of 95 only you are supposed to recognize." But sir, other 5 goods also money is received, na? Correct. You received the money, na? Don't recognize as sales. Recognize as a liability to pay. That means cash account debit 100, to sales 95, to liability to pay to customer, payable to customer 5. Recognize it. Okay. The amount received is not recognized as a sales. That means the asset, whatever my goods are with other party. My goods are with the customers. Correct. So to the extent of cost of the assets, we should present it, because with respect to 5 goods, when I say sale is not complete, that must be your inventory. Correct. That's why recognize the inventory at cost in your books of account. Correct, na? Tomorrow they will return it to me. Excellent. I will show. Correct, na? I will pay the money. Correct, na? Payable account debit to cash, I will make the payment. Anyhow, goods also physically will come to my go down. Got it? So because of this, what we'll say, recognize to the extent you do not expect the return. That is one. And second thing is what? To the extent of what is the refund you are expecting, na? That extent you recognize it as a liability. And the third one is what? The goods are in the hands of the customer, but you are the owner. Correct. Recognize the assets at cost. Inventory should be measured at cost or NRV, whichever is lower. So same rule of Ind AS 2 should be followed. Yeah, look at this. Return the goods if not satisfied. So do not recognize the revenue to the extent expected to be returned. Those expected to be returned are inventory and create a refund liability. Yes, create one inventory and as well as refund liability also you are supposed to create it. Next, with respect to warranty. See, warranty means what? Warranty means a guarantee for the performance of the product. Agree? We are giving a guarantee for the performance of the product. I hope you understood. Yeah. So the question is, warranty means it is an assurance for performance as specified. If that is the only warranty, then go to Ind AS 37. Correct. 37 provision for warranty, provisions, contingent liability and contingent asset you are supposed to refer. Not anything else. Okay. But suppose it is not a warranty, sir. You purchased one mobile. Suppose if the mobile fell down from your, slipped from your hand. It is broken into 2 pieces. If you take it to the manufacturer, will he replace the mobile? Obviously no. Correct, na? Suppose he will say, no, I will replace it, but you have to pay me extra money. That means he is selling you one more new product that is called insurance product in addition to your mobile actually. That means he is selling 2 products. One is mobile, the other one is insurance product also he is selling, isn't it? That's why you have to recognize, correct, na? The amount whatever we paid, seller received, that has to be bifurcated into 2. One is for the mobile, another one is for the insurance. That's what. Is it really a warranty for the standard performance to ensure the good quality of performance, or is there anything else? If anything else, that means that is a separate performance obligation, and we have to bifurcate it. and follow the rules and regulations. Step 1, 2, 3. Step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rules and regulations we are supposed to follow as usual. Look at. Read the agreement. It may be a service performance obligation. A separate performance obligation. Correct, na? Correct. Physical damage for warranty. Separate performance obligation. That's why. Question first. Whether the customer has an option to purchase the warranty separately. Yeah, if you say, you mean to say, I mean, what I'm trying to say, if you purchase a mobile, same seller will give you an opportunity. Extended warranty. Correct, na? Insurance kind. Warranty for breakage of the physical damage of the. Correct. I purchased one for my laptop. For this is a HP laptop. For this HP laptop, additional 3 years warranty I purchased. I paid approximately 13,000 rupees. I have paid extra. That means within next 3 years, if there is any problem to my laptop, they will take care. This is not for the standard but along with the laptop, actually 1 year warranty came. That is real warranty. For that, HP should follow Ind AS 37. Next, I paid another additionally 12,000, 13,000 rupees. 12,000, 13,000 rupees. HP should be following Ind AS 115. 115. Got my point? Yes. If you say yes, that is a separate performance obligation. Done. So is there any service in addition to assurance? Assurance means, I mean, qualitative performance of the asset. That's all. If you say yes, then there is a separate performance obligation. If your answer is no, that means it is a plain warranty. It is a plain warranty. Getting my point? Plain warranty, you are supposed to refer Ind AS 37. Okay, 37. Right. So under that circumstance, consider period of warranty, law requirements, nature of services, etc., etc. Keep it in mind. Got it? Next, principal versus agent. Right. So in some of the situations, what will happen? Right. Whether are we the principal, are we the agent? Correct. Are we, if we are doing our job on behalf of someone's, correct, na? Then we say ourselves are agent. What is the problem here? Problem means agent will recognize only the commission, net effect. Net recognition will be done by him. Okay, suppose we are a ticket agent. Okay, we are ticket agent for Indigo company. Okay, Indigo company. Agent, yes, let us say agent gets 5,000 rupees from the customer. And out of that 4,800 rupees, I am supposed to, this is received from customer, this I am supposed to give it to Indigo. Yes. So what is this 200? 200 rupees only my commission. Now, so in my agent profit and loss may, I should say sales is equal to 200, but not sales is equal to 5,000 rupees and 4,800 rupees. No, not this way of recognition, not allowed. That's why you need to be very clear whether you are a agent or whether you are a, what is that? Principal. Principal hai to you should recognize like this. What is that? Sales 5,000, cost is equal to 4,800, whatever it is. Both sales and expenses will come into the picture. Okay. So principal recognizes the gross revenue, agent recognizes the revenue, that is net revenue, which is commission. Okay. They have given some indicators. These are all to determine whether my company is an agent. Is my company an agent or is it my company's principal? For that, they have given some characteristics basically. Okay, features are provided, indications, features, characteristics, any word you can use it. Fine. Another party principally responsible to fulfill the promise. Means I am not primarily responsible. Another company will do it. Another party will do it. That means I am agent. Next, there is no risk of inventory before or after the shipment. Correct, na? There is no risk. No risk in the sense, I mean, product is not working. Customer will not ask me. Customer will directly go to the company. That's all. So I am not responsible to the performance of the item. Got it? Next, no direction. I mean, there is no direction on fixing the price. Means there is no direction. I don't think so. Direction. There is direction on fixing the price. I think no is not relevant here. I think I have to cut it mostly, right? I mean, how much I should, at what rate I should sell it, that is fixed by my company. That means I am an agent. Correct? Yeah, consideration. What is my consideration? My consideration is my revenue is basically a commission, which is in the nature of commission. Then yes, it is not expected to credit risk of the customer. Correct? The customer did not pay money. Then if I say I don't need to worry. Why, sir? Means if customer won't pay, I don't pay to the company. That means I'm an agent. That means credit risk. My company does not have credit risk. That means these are all the features. This is not exhaustive. Okay, right? But one has to apply their professional judgment. Correct? Na? Whether it is agent or is it a principal, that depends. Obviously, situation to situation, it will change. You have to read the agreement between the main company and this company. Got my point? That is always you are supposed to look at. Yeah, it is not like so simply we can decide based on how one item satisfied or not satisfied. No, it's not like that. Yes, sometimes argument will be there when you deal with the client, obviously. That's why you have to understand and analyze it carefully. Then only you can argue with them. Okay, right. Hello. It is non-refundable upfront fees. This is what generally happens. Suppose if you take any club membership, correct na? First day only. Suppose if you take Mahindra Club, they assume, I don't know exactly what is the prices now. Prices are now how much? They may say like this. Yeah, first only Ravikant, you have to pay 5 lakh rupees to become a member of Club Mahindra. Okay, fine. So can Club Mahindra recognize 5 lakh rupees as sales immediately? No, should not. They should say cash account debit to advance from customer. Why, sir? Why means, boss, 5 lakh rupees you receive today. Agreed. Aren't you supposed to provide me services for 5 lakh rupees for the next 10 years? Sir, yes. Next 10 years, maybe 7 days, 8 days, 10 days, whichever the property I want to visit, correct? Whichever the place I want to visit, I can, correct? I will be visiting that place and I will be taking the services from you. That means whatever today you received 5 lakh rupees is an advance given by the customer. It is an advance given by the customer for the services to be provided by the company in the future. Correct? That's why don't record it immediately. So it should be transferred. Advance money should be transferred to profit and loss. Again, in the ratio of services. Correct? Suppose 10 years. Every year 7 days you are supposed to give it to the customer. Then 5 lakh rupees should be allocated over a period of 10 years. In the same, equally, because it is 7 days. Services are same, equal services, then equally you are supposed to allocate it. That's what you have to look into the terms and conditions of the contract. But just for an example, I told it to you, right? So that is what it says. Joining fees for health club. Joining fees for health club. Any activation fees for telecom, right? Suppose if you say, sir, I don't need to provide any kind of services to the customer. Generally, it won't be there. Okay, that you have to take care, right? Received at the inception, sir, of the contract, but there is no transfer of goods or services immediately. Mostly, yes, we don't transfer. Then do not record it initially, means don't recognize it as a sales, but only when the services are performed. That is what important. Consider the renewal period also. If it is reasonably certain that it is going to be extended, then yes, please go ahead. Right? Next point. Here, licensing. Yeah, this is purely for royalty kind of royalty things. Yeah, we gave a license. Whenever there is a license, point will come, is it a right to access or is it a right to use? Right to access or right to use? It's a simple thing. One is Microsoft Office software, you purchased it. They sent you one CD, one key, correct? You just installed in your computer and you started using it. Okay, say subscription is for 2 years. 2 years you will use it. Updates also they will send it to you. Correct? You will update your office and you will start using it. This is license purchased. This is right to use. This is right to use. E software is in where? it is in my personal computer, correct na? Or it is in my server. Done. Now right to access means what? Right to access means what? The software will be in the server of the, it is in the server of the seller. Okay, they gave me one login ID password. Okay, I'll use my login ID password and I will, suppose it is a database. Okay, I will use the data. You getting my point? I will use the data. That is right to access. Suppose taxman is there, example, taxman, correct na? Taxman, if they give you login ID password to you, they will be updating all the information time to time, correct na? They will be updating all the information time to time with respect to Supreme Court cases, that case, this rule, that rule, correct na? In their server you will have a login ID password, correct? Under that circumstance, the recognition terms and conditions will change obviously and automatically. Okay, right? So you are supposed to distinguish it whenever there is a license I have got. What kind of license? Right, listen, in this case na, right to use, if you say right to use means I got MS Office example, I gave it to you. It is point in time, that's it. Once Microsoft gives me a code, correct, they send me the code or they send me the CD or hard, whatever it is, correct na? That's all. They can book the sales immediately, because afterwards whether I use it, do not use it, correct, whether I scrap it, it just doesn't matter to them. Agree? Correct. But in this case, right to access means the company is obligated to provide access to the customer throughout the 1 year time. This is not for point in time, this is throughout the period, correct na? Over time. Then in this situation, companies will be following, the company whoever is the selling, that company will be following percentage of completion method to recognize the revenue. Getting my point? Right. Next, sales based royalty. This is also same nature only. Okay, right. Next point, let me see, we are left with only hardly 4-5 minutes. Yeah, when advance is received, customer unexercised right. What is unexercised right? Unexercised right means what should I say? Yeah, non-refundable advance, no. Yeah, this is one way. I'll tell you some credit points example. Yeah, credit points are there. I mean reward points, you know, correct? Yeah, with respect to reward points, suppose every customer, I will tell customer, if you purchase 100 rupees item, I will give you 2 points, I will give it to you. Okay, fine, right? 2 points worth is equal to, sir, 2 points worth is equal to 2 rupees. I will tell like this. Okay, customer ko I will tell very clearly, right? Right, once you accumulate say more than 50 points, then you can utilize this money. Agreed, you can utilize this money, right? But I will tell them like this, how many points are accumulated in the current year? In the current year, totally 1 lakh points are accumulated. Okay, excellent. But do you think that all 1 lakh points are going to be exercised by the people? I make you have to exercise within 1 year or within 6 months. Yeah, even your credit card points also, my dear, there is a lapse. I mean what is that? Time lapse will be there, correct? If you don't use it in time, then it will be lapsed. That's normal. If for any point there will be some expiry date will be there. Now yes, 1 lakh points are there, but out of 1 lakh points, how many points are you expecting? Sir, I'm expecting approximately 80% of the points will be exercised. Okay, 1 point is equal to 1 rupee. That means 80,000 rupees is a performance obligation. It's a separate performance obligation. I should deal it, correct? Money, what are we supposed to do? You are supposed to, I mean, reduce it from the sales. Sales say reduce it, so it is a separate performance obligation, right? Right, unexercised rights. Correct. Now see, out of this 80,000 rupees is there. Suppose I am giving 2 years of time. right? The 80,000 only will be allocated between 1 year, second year. Yeah, there's some calculation is also there. What is that? Suppose out of 80,000 of this year, say 50,000 units are utilized in the next year. Okay, then recognize it 50,000. But suddenly, correct, 50,000 utilized means what is left? 30,000 is left. Correct? Now suddenly, sir, in the next year they used 40,000 units. They used, actually their eligibility for 1 lakh. My expectation is only 80,000 units are going to be utilized, isn't it? That's the point, right? But actually they utilized how many, sir? They utilized 40,000 means, but what is left in my account? Only 30,000. That only will be taken to credit to the revenue. Correct? I can't do anything more than whatever I have initially allocated. Recently in our group also one student asked, whatever initially allocated is equal to 80,000. 80,000 only will be transferred to profit and loss over the period. Okay, yeah. If it is, my expectation is 80, really 90,000 points have been exercised the people, but I can't go back and change the amount. Whatever I have allocated, correct na? Suppose if it is 10 lakh is there, 10 lakh may 80,000 I am allocating for the points, means 9,20,000 has already been recognized as sales. Correct? Now I cannot go and ask the customer to give more money, or I cannot go back and reverse the journal entry for 9,20,000 rupees in the past. So nothing can be done. Okay, my dear, right? So that is with respect to that point. Repurchase and some more points are there, that maybe I may release one small video in the very near future, maybe tomorrow, I feel. Okay, hope, I mean, if this class was helpful to you, please like and share it with your friends. Yeah, this is, as you know, this is part number 2. Part number 1 is already there in the YouTube, correct na? Right? So please share it. That will be helpful to you and as well as to us. Thank you and wish you all the very best for your upcoming exams.